I think that's something that people about who are the fans don't realize is like Hiro and Joe, we do roundtables. When the script is written, we discuss, they give notes, and then when the movies are done, we bring them into the editing room. We discuss, they give notes, we address their notes. Like, they've been a huge part of the development and the making of these movies. When after 3 and 4 finished shooting and we were with, sort of the daunting task of editing these movies, which was in 2021, we always knew that After We Fell was going to end with, Josephine running into his arms on the London street. And we even discussed, like, we're going to do it to a Frey song and it's going to be epic. And, we talked about everything. So that one was actually fairly easy. And then when we started editing After Ever Happy, so for people who have read the books, what happens is that there are 6 time jumps that happen at the end of that film. And it goes over the span of, it's something like 20 years or something, from when Tessa first reads the novel After to where the book finally ends. So we were cutting together the movie. After Ever Happy was done, though, and the studio was so happy with how that came out and Hiro and Joe's performances and everything. They were like, you know what? We'll shoot another one. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. They're like, let's make another one. And they said there's so many different things that we could focus on, and there's so much material. And so we brought Hiro and Joe in, and we all sat and we had a meeting. That was that picture that I took that they posted on the account of them with the big smiles on their faces after they had watched the movie. So the thing that I think people don't realize is, these are like meetings that we have, discussions that we have with the actors, with the director, with the studio. Like, this is all something that we all discuss, at length. So when we decided that we were going to do more of the movie, it was like, okay, well, which chunk are we going to focus on? Because, as I said, there's 6 time jumps that happen. Throw another monkey wrench into it. Anna also wrote Before, which was the 5th novel of that book series. And the studio wanted to make that into a movie, and they did an announcement about it, and then the fans all were like, we don't want to see it unless Hiro finds Tiffin is playing Hardin. We don't want any movie,
Oh, yeah.
So that became a whole thing, too, where they were like, unless it's Hiro, we don't want to see it. So then we started to talk, and it was like, okay, well, maybe there's a way to get some of Before in and do it with Hiro playing Hardin, doing it in flashback, making that part of the story. I mean, listen, I'm under an NDA, obviously, so there's only so much that I can reveal and talk about. What I can say, and what I will say, is that I was really super excited to focus on, one of the things I wanted to really focus on was her fertility issues. That was the movie that in my heart I really, really wanted to make. And truthfully, the studio and Castile actually really wanted to make it as well. And then, as luck would have it, and this has just happened, Josephine, got tremendously busy. And why shouldn't she? She's a wonderful actress. So she shot 2 movies, and she really wanted to just take some time off. So then we were like, okay, well, we have all of this other footage still from After Ever Happy. So how can we then combine it with all the other things, the other elements that we want to shoot, which is the elements of Before and getting into Hardin's backstory and his trauma. And I'm actually really thrilled honestly, with how it all came together. And I believe that the fans will be really thrilled, honestly, when they see it. What I can really say about it is that I would just not comment until they actually sit in the movie theater and watch it, or turn on Netflix and watch it, because I cried at the end. Like I said, there was just a lot of material there to work with, and we had to pick and choose. But the actors were definitely involved, and discussions were had, and obviously Hiro and Joe had a whole conversation and all of that. So I mean, listen, we've made 5 movies together. We've all spent a lot of time together. Like, we've been doing this for a minute. We all, we're in a business together. We're all communicating. We're all talking. And I think that that's maybe one of the misgivings or something about all this, is people somehow think that, like, somebody went behind Joe's back and did something, and it couldn't be further from the truth. I love Josephine. I discovered her for this movie off of an audition she did for the Molly role. And, I saw her and I said to Anna, oh my God, the Tessa that we've been looking for years, literally just auditioned for Molly. And at that time, Julia had just fallen out. And so the stars were aligned, and she was like, what? And I showed her, and then she read the role, and she was absolutely perfect. I literally called her agent, and I said, get her on a plane from Australia right now. And he was like, really? And I said, yes. And she did. She just went to the airport and got on a plane, and she booked the job just like that. And obviously, I didn't cut the teaser. I don't do any of the marketing. It's 30 seconds. So obviously, they didn't want to give away what the actual movie is. So they're trying to keep it a secret. And that was what they did. For something that was languishing in development at a studio that nobody ever thought would see the light of day, because even when I got Paramount to let me take it out, and I took it around to try to get it financed, many people were like, oh, this book was popular in 2014. Who cares? So just the fact that I was able to get it financed and made was such a great feat, and I feel so good about it. When you read After Ever Happy, there's a reason why Anna did a time jump to 2 years later. Because even as the author, and obviously I'm not her, I don't know what was in her head, but even her, I'm sure her, after this super big event happened in their life, she wasn't going to be like, oh, and guess what? Now we're back together. So she did a time cut to 2 years later, and that happened for a reason. So we followed that storyline, and I know it was something that hasn't been written, but it was on the page. So, but it did use a lot of elements of what she had written, is what I will say.
I think one of the biggest things was when it came out that there was, going to be another movie. There was the little description on IMDb where everybody was freaking out about, centers on a teenage Hardin who is navigating his first love. And everyone's like, Tessa's his first love. What's going on? They're ruining the book. They're ruining the characters. So I think that mixed in with the teaser being strictly from...
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, no, okay, so just so you know, when we say, and I didn't write the IMDb thing, obviously, but when they say navigating his first love, that means Tessa. The story of before is him telling the story of his first love, who is Tessa, from his point of view. What they're referring to is Tessa being his first love. Of course, Tessa's his only love. His only love, and there's nothing that we would do to desecrate that. I just want everyone to know, and to for the fandom to know, that I think they're going to be really, really excited when they see the movie and really happy with how it all came out.